Well, spring is finally here, and it would seem winter has just kind of gone out with a little bit of a whimper. This is the first week we've had really warm temperatures here at home, and it's been kind of in the 70s in the day and kind of chilly at night, but it's been really comfortable lately, except for the wind, and that is how I know spring is here. Wind has been god awful. We clocked 89 mile an hour winds just the other week, which is absolute insanity. I really don't want to go through that again anytime soon, but I got a feeling this is going to be a very windy spring, and we're just going to have to suck it up. But today, I had plans to work on the 4Runner, fix a few issues that we have going on that, but we'll see how the weather holds out because it is actually supposed to get really windy again this afternoon. So right now there's a slight breeze and it's supposed to pick up here in a few hours, and hopefully we can be done by then. But let me show you guys what we're going to be working on today. So I get this annoying squeak from the awning when the vehicle is in motion. Now I know for a fact that the squeaking is actually coming from this slat right here where it meets up this rail, and it's due to the flexing that the awning puts on this in a twisting motion. So I've kind of been going back and forth with FrontRunner customer support and emails trying to solve the issue here. And basically we concluded that we're just gonna take this rail off and we're going to put silicone spray onto that slat. Also, I'm gonna check if there's jagged edges on there as well and maybe file them down. That might round things off and keep it from rubbing together and causing that squeak. So now I have to go through the not so fun process of pulling the awning off after all the hard work of putting everything together. So that kind of sucks, but I really hate that squeaking. We're gonna get rid of it. Let's go. So I've gone to the hardware store and picked up some heavy duty silicone spray from my local Ace Hardware. So the next step is to pull the awning off, which is simple enough, but there's only 9 bolts that have to be undone. Yet it's a little bit tedious because there's not a lot of room to maneuver, so it takes a little bit of time to pull it off. There's only 3 brackets. This one is the easiest to get to. The other 2 down here have the tent in the way right here, so it's a little difficult to get the wrench in. So the secret to this is to get the Allen wrench underneath, locked in, and then we get the wrench here, and which way am I going? That way. Ouch, that was my knuckles. And then once we have the bottom nut undone, we have 2 on the top here. And these are actually the easiest ones. I just have to go down the row and pull them out. All right, so with the awning removed, this will actually be pretty easy. I don't even have to pull the tent off. I should be able to just undo the 4 bolts on the underside here that hold this section of the rail to these slats. The joint is right here, so I just have to undo that, and they should just pull right out. And it should be pretty easy. I will have to support this slat though because it will flop down, and I can just stick a piece of wood or something under there. That's no big deal. Okay, so this is the rail section that came off. All we have to do now is put silicone spray on this and on the end of the slats, as well as file things down. We'll file first, then put silicone, we'll file things first and then put silicone spray on, and then we should be good to go to put everything back together. Awning and the rack are now officially put back together, and it's about time because the wind is now starting to pick up and it's kind of starting to get ugly, and I suspect it's only going to get worse from here. But right now it is now time for a test drive. So this is going to be the moment of truth. If this still squeaks after all this work, I have no idea what I'm going to do. I love push to start. So far so good. I'm gonna roll the window down, see what I hear. I hear a little bit of creaking, but I think that's kind of normal. Let's get onto the main drag here and see what we hear. open the throttle. All right, so the good news is I think we may have solved our problem. Kind of. It's still kind of there, but it's a lot more faint than it was before. I don't know if I'm OCD or what, but things squeaking drives me nuts. And that's gonna be more problematic with this Overland build because the more things we add to this, the more likely things are going to squeak. So I'm gonna make it my personal mission with this Overland build to make sure nothing squeaks. Absolutely nothing. This is gonna be the most quiet ride ever. Unfortunately, because we're an off-road rig, I think there's only so much we're gonna be able to do, but we'll see. So we're a few miles into our test drive and things sound really good. There's not a lot of movement up on the rack. There's a lot of wind noise. I got a nasty crosswind at the moment, which is pretty ugly. But our main creaking sound is mostly gone, or it's pretty well muted. So I'm kind of liking that. I think we did improve things a little bit. My paranoia with this is that as things shift around and settle in after a while of driving, is that the squeaking might come back. And honestly, this is just one of the frustrations that I think a lot of people are gonna have when you have a bolt-together roof rack rather than a welded roof rack. That was one thing I really liked about the Gobi rack on the Xterra, and I've mentioned this before. Having a completely solid and welded together rack, there's no noise whatsoever at all. The roof is totally silent other than the wind. But a bolt together rack, I think it's inevitable that things will eventually start shifting around and squeaking. But I'm really liking the results I have so far. So I think we're gonna call this a day and call this a success for now. But time will tell, so let me get turned around here. I don't really know whether to call this a Overland build episode or just a vlog because we're not really doing anything extravagant on the 4Runner, but we are just kind of goofing off today and I really honestly had nothing else planned. So I guess we're just gonna go ahead and file this in the vlogs. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next episode, whether it be an Overland build video or just a vlog, I don't know. But I will see you there later. Bye.